Welcome to Research Talk. We are discussing about various ways to ensure trustworthiness in qualitative research. In our previous videos, we talked about respondent validation or member checking as a way to ensure high level of trustworthiness. Now, we are going to talk about another method that is commonly used in qualitative research to ensure high level of trustworthiness. So that method is called researcher stance or positionality. Researcher's stance or researcher's positionality. So let's first understand what it is. Researcher's stance is what is my relationship with the topic that I'm exploring as a qualitative researcher. As you know, in qualitative research, we use ourselves as a tool in the process of data collection and data analysis, and we are actively engaged in that whole process. So since we are so much engaged in this whole process as a researcher, there is a chance that our own personal biases, our own personal sensibilities and values can seep in and influence the data as well as the data analysis process. And it's very important that we are aware of our own values our personal biases and beliefs, etc. Because if you are not aware, then there are chances that these values biases will seep in the research process. So how do we do that? We try to manage these biases, our personal biases, by reflecting on our own positionality or talking about what is my relationship with this topic. Generally, if you talk to any researcher and ask them, why are you interested in this topic? In most cases, what happens that we as researchers feel or gravitate towards a particular topic because we can personally relate with those topics. For instance, let's say a student says that I want to study leadership experiences of women who are mothers and what kind of challenges, barriers, successes they experience because they have to juggle with both the roles, being a mother and being a leader in the organization, let's say in higher education. So there may be a possibility that the person who is interested is already holding a role, a leadership role in the organization, and let's say this person is already a mother. And based on her own experiences, she wants to explore this phenomenon in more detail. I can talk about me as a researcher. There are many studies which I did, and all those studied had some sort of personal, I won't call it a relationship, but it's more sort of I'm gravitated towards those topics because I can relate with those things because of my own personal experiences. So whenever we are exploring a topic which, let's say, have some sort of personal connection with us, it's very easy to you know, to influence the data analysis process because of our own prior experience related to that phenomenon, because of our own values that we hold, because of our own personal biases, beliefs, which might easily seep into the process. So to control that, the first step is obviously being aware of these things. And to do that, what we do as researchers, we talk about researcher stance or researcher positionality. In almost all qualitative research, under method section, there is a subsection which is called researcher stance or researcher positionality. In that section, the researcher talks about why I'm interested in this topic, and based on my own values, beliefs, and biases, if there are any chances of getting this becoming a factor in influencing the data collection or data analysis. So being upfront about your own relationship with the research topic helps you in minimizing those biases in the research process. And that's what a researcher stance is. And so whenever you start your research, it's important that you reflect on these questions, such as what are my personal beliefs about the phenomenon that I'm going to investigate, or what are my values related to the phenomenon that I'm investigating, and what might be some biases which might seep into this process. And you reflect on these questions, and that helps you to minimize the biases in the research. And you write that when you write your research article, then you have a subsection under methods where you talk about your own positionality in this whole process. So this is briefly about researcher stance that we use as qualitative researchers to ensure high level of trustworthiness. I hope it helps. I'll see you in another video talking about another method of ensuring high level of trustworthiness.